What's up? Super Misfit checking in. We about to catch up on part 2 of the Detroit Speed Mini Tub install. If you guys haven't watched part 1, I suggest you watch part 1 so you can catch up to where we at. You're probably looking at this one, and what it is basically just a prop, because working inside of the car is a pretty tight space and the light not all that good in the car. I'd have to bring a lot of lights in the car and trying to work in front of it. You guys probably wouldn't see exactly what I have going on. But in part 1, we already removed the panel. This panel here goes on the inside of your car. It sits on the back piece of metal that where your seat sit at. This here goes to the tub. This goes across. We already cut that out, removed that out. We also removed the bracket that sits on the top of here. I showed that in part 1. We already made our measurements and stuff like this. So now it's time to get down to the good part, actually cutting the tub out. So now, you watch part 1, you heard me already say the instructions are going to tell you to drill all the spot welds out of the car. And if you want to go that route, you can go that route. I highly do advise whenever you do your mini tubs, do one side at a time. Do not try to do both sides at the same time. And the reason I say that is so that way once you do one side, you're a little bit more familiar with the other side, and it'll make it a whole lot easier. On part 1, I followed the instructions to the T, and it took me a whole lot longer to get things done, and I struggled with it a little more. By the time I got around to the passenger side, common sense had kicked in. So after I made all of my measurements and stuff like that, it was time to cut. Now I'm about to show you guys how I cut mine. Basically, I cut the top of the stock tub all the way down, and as you can see, our little paper goes here. I cut all the way across there. When I got to this point, I just pretty much came in some and cut straight on across. You cut across to your inner line that you had going along the trunk pin. Cut all the way down and all the way up to the front. Now when you get to the front up here, remember we still had this lip that's gonna be hanging over. So you're gonna cut down. Once you get there, you come in, come down, and cut across. And keep on going all the way across over through the tub. Now it's a part down here that's still gonna have some spot welds in it. I'm gonna get to that once we go back over towards the car. And you're gonna cut all the way up across the top, and from there you'll have the whole tub come out in one piece. Now your shock mount is gonna be somewhere in this area right here. You could cut smooth through that. It wasn't too hard to cut. If you're gonna be using a Sawzall or just a regular or grinding wheel with the cutoff wheel on it, you might have to cut in sections, but that's pretty much everything that you need to cut. The plasma cutter is pretty much the quickest way that you can cut through this, but I used the Sawzall. It didn't take me too long, just took a little time and a few blades, and I cut right on through it. So the camera was getting a little blurry up close, but like I say, I came all the way across the top part of the tub, cut all the way down, came across, came in some, cut across. And like I say, from part 1, we already made our line with the masking tape. So cut on the inside of the line of your masking tape, come all the way on down. When you get to the front, be real careful, cut across, then come back down in front of your tape, cut across, and then just cut smooth through the side of your tub and finish coming up to connect with wherever you started with up there. And that'll drop the complete tub. And once you're done with that, I'll show you guys what that look like. But as you can see, this is our tape line that we've been had lined along the back. And basically we cut all the way up against this edge right here, which goes all the way to the front. You cut right along there, you come down across the back, cut smooth across the inside of that tub, and just continue the line all the way over until you get to our tape line over here, and cut straight on down the tape line going all the way up to the front. I'm about to walk around to the front so you guys can see the front side in a minute. Now as you can see, we're up at the front, but remember, once you get down here to this part, you're gonna have this lip that drops down, your 3/4 of an inch lip, which is gonna drop down. So once you cut this, you're gonna come out this way and come down past that other piece of tape. I'm gonna show you guys that on the prop. But basically all I did was cut all the way along our tape lines, which came all the way out this way. all the way in. You put your slit there in the corner right here. You're gonna have metal coming here. Then I cut the tub from right here all the way on across, and then all the way up inside of there. So that's gonna be the next step. Once you begin, when I say when you make your cut, the way I made my cuts, I cut all the way along the tape line all the way around, and once you get to the front, remember you had this piece of tape right here. So you're gonna come out, cut down, and cut across. Now I'm gonna use these 10 snips just to show you guys pretty much what you would do with your Dremel or your cutoff wheel or whatever you might be using, Sawzall, whatever you may be using to make your cuts. So first thing first, I wanna put my nick here. And this prop gonna be kind of flimsy, so you're gonna see it bouncing around. Now you see I put kind of close to where I had that dot at, because once you start bending the actual metal in the car, it's gonna, once you bend down, it's gonna rip all the way back. So that's where you're gonna get your seam sealer, your seam splitter. And the actual metal in the car is way more firmer than this. I gotta hold mine to keep it to bending exactly how you want it. Now what I did was I worked my way down, just lift it up off of there so you guys can see. And what I did with mine was I bent a little at a time so that way I could get an even bend. Hope I'm not blocking you guys in front of this camera. Clamp down, bend down. Say the middle inside of the car is not gonna be as flimsy as this. But you get that back, then you come towards the front part. Bend down. So after you're done doing that, you got all your folds and stuff right. This is basically what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna get closer in. This is what you're shooting for. Once you cut that out, we're gonna get our tape measure. We're gonna measure from the back of this frame reel back there, and I'm about to show you guys that cut in a moment. Let me resituate the camera. We're gonna get over there to that part. As you can see, I already have a cut on mine. I'm about to show you guys how we get this cut. You're gonna need your template. It's gonna be this template right here. Let me set it down so you can see it. It's gonna be this template here. Mine a little dinged and dented up from me using it over time. So now we finna measure from here all the way up the frame reel to where I made this cut at right here. Now you wanna measure 14. Place your tape measure directly on the rear back there. You want to measure 14¼ up to the front right here. As you can see, I already got mine marked. I used some soapstone to mark that with. And don't mind all my dirt and stuff right here, man. All this gonna get cleaned up here soon. Whole car finna get re-undercoated. But again, you're gonna measure from back there on that all the way up to here, 14¼ Once you get that ready, make your mark for your measurement. You're gonna put you some tape on the back side of this so that way it'll stay up in place, as you can see. Now we're gonna set this up front. You're gonna want this directly. I'll set this up front right here. Line everything up to where it's right where we marked it. Push our tape over. So now we got that in place. Bring it along down the bottom side and mark it. Line this up a little bit. I'll set it up there kind of crooked so I can show you guys exactly what we got going on. So now basically once you set that under there, you're gonna want to cut. You're gonna trace you a line. You can use soapstone, use your pen or marker, whatever you're gonna use, and mark it down. Once you make that mark, do your cut. Now keep in mind, once you make your line under here and actually make your cut, that a lot of these stencils that you get in this kit are basically just for references, just to help you get started along the way. You might have to make a few adjustments to your frame rail. Then again, you might come out lucky to where the actual template that they gave you was just enough. But on both sides of my car, I had to do a little bit more cutting than the stencil suggested that I do. So once you make this cut here, you can cut straight on up here, cut straight on up there. You should be looking exactly how I'm looking now with no wheel tub, We already bent the metal up front, so that metal bent. Now you're gonna want to cut this metal out here. It's a plate that goes here. I already butchered mine up, so I'm sorry you guys, I don't have that on video. But once you cut this plate here, you're pretty much ready for the next step. Now you see my tape is still here. I made sure I went along my complete tape line all the way through the car and grinded everything off. Those are from the lines that we made in part 1 of the video. Made sure all of that was smooth. Once you have this cut here and that cut, it's time to start test fitting the actual tubs. Now when we cut earlier, when we cut the complete tub, I remember I told you guys gonna be a part right here that you have to cut as well when you cut across. Now down here, you still gonna have metal from your actual wheel tub, and it's gonna have some spot wheels in it. There's a lot of dirt and stuff that built up over time. This pound, I'm gonna vacuum all of that out before we seal this shit. But this is also gonna have some spot wheels. Now these spot wheels, the instructions suggest that you do not drill all the way through, but I'm pretty handy with a welder. I drilled all the way through. I'm just gonna fill those holes up. You're gonna use these later on to put your new tub in place. You'll be able to put you some wheels down here to secure it. And this flap right here, if you do it how the instructions say, you can peel it back, but I was having problems with peeling mine back. So basically what I done was cut the spot wheels out. I'm gonna lift this up and cut this down to the appropriate size to where I could get my tub in. So now that we got that done, it's time to go get all our panels and stuff ready. They gotta go here and go there, and we're gonna prep the tubs and get the tubs ready to go in the car. I already prepped these surfaces here to save you guys a little time watching me do some painting. These are all of the little fill-in brackets that you get. These go for the frame rail. This goes for that other gap that I showed you guys a second ago. These are gonna go up by your seats. And over here, now we over here by the tub. I got the self-issue primer. I got this from O'Reilly. I'm about to coat this. You know, the reason why this is not fully coated, I just glazed it a little bit to show you guys what could happen over time if you don't prep these surfaces. So these areas right here, you wouldn't be able to paint because once you weld these shut, you'll never be able to get to them and put anything on there. As you can see, the areas on here that's coated don't really have no surface rust at all. The areas that's lightly coated do have surface rust. So we finna go over this, spray this down real quick, scuff this up real good, try and remove some of this surface rust. Then I'm gonna hit it with a few coats of the primer. Nothing major when I get the priming. You wanna go with light coats and then build it up. But let me prep this surface and then prime it. Once we prime it, we're gonna pick up on the final part. That's gonna be part 3. Hope you guys enjoying the process, enjoying the video so far. Be sure to subscribe, turn on those post notifications. And that's it, you guys. Let's work.